Hey everyone, welcome in. This is Julie Max in the Maine Stamper. I am here for your weekly card class from Maine, and it is 8 o'clock, and I think that my tech is all working tonight, which is just amazing. So welcome in. As you join me, please let me know who you are, where you're watching from, and if you are new to the Maine Stamper Facebook page. I come on every Monday to entertain you and inspire you in some card making. Today we are going to be working with the friendly Gnomes, which may or may not be your cup of tea. So I'm going to show you these cards real quick. We have this one, super fun. That's got a little technique in it. We have this one, which is really sweet and simple. And we have this one, which is super magical. There are some like moving parts here too. This is a really awesome card. And of course, I always save the best for last because it's the most fun. So just looking at my messages here for a second. Hi, Rhonda. Okay, it looks like I'm live and I am good. This is awesome. It has been the snowiest day in Maine. Hi, Linda. This is great. Snowiest day in Maine. If you've been following me at all along today a little bit, you noticed that I had a UPS delivery last minute for my little gems, my little embellishments that go in these cards were actually, they were late. I ordered them on January 10th or 11th for this class in specifically. And if you got the email this morning and it showed a picture of our cards, the card kits and the cards, those cards did not have embellishments because I didn't have the embellishments when I actually took those pictures to put in an email. So they came in very late this morning and I got them on my cards. I'm ready to show them off. I'm so excited about it. So, and I also posted a blog post a little bit about our gnome class. So all week long, I'm going to be concentrating on the friendly gnomes, ways to use them, ways to not use them. Maybe this isn't your cup of tea and you're thinking, I don't want to watch this class. I don't want to. Who cares about gnomes? There are people out there, believe it or not, that don't care about gnomes. And I did put my opinion on my blog today, a little bit about how I feel about gnomes. So anyway, check that out. But all week long, I'm going to be sharing gnome cards and not gnome cards and all kinds of good stuff. So let's get over to my workspace. We got a lot to talk about. All right, here we go. First thing, I also got in my little package, my box today from the UPS man. I'm really excited about this too. I talked a little bit about the Sunshine and Smiles Paper Pumpkin Kit. You can sign up for this through February 10th. So we're getting closer to the end of sign up time. And they have told us that it coordinates with the Playing in the Rain bundle that's in the mini catalog. So of course I had to get it because, right? I mean, it was on my list, but I thought, you know what? If the paper pumpkin's going to come out and it's going to match this, I have to have it. So there's a really cute stamp set there. We've got the dies here that match. And of course, there's a ton of dies. We've got a kite and a kite tail. We've got a little stump. We've got a gate. We've got bow ties, little sideways butterflies. I love these. There's two of them. And I shouldn't really go on and on about this. This is not our feature tonight. But what I wanted to tell you is those little Sunshine and Smiles dies. This is the little package that is available if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and you want to get the very first ever dies that they have to go with Paper Pumpkin. This is what they look like, and they're just two little tiny dies. There's a flower and there's a froggy, and in their little flyer they show this little frog and the flowers. So we know that these stamps are going to be in the Paper Pumpkin and there are dies that go with them. So I was really excited to get these in today to kind of have a little sneak peek at these. Now this Paper Pumpkin kit will not mail until about February 11th or 12th or so. So you won't even get this one until the middle of February. But if this is something that you're interested in, it looks like it's going to be really cute. Obviously it goes with a really adorable set. You can just ask me how you can get hooked up for Paper Pumpkin, which is so cool. Now let's talk about our feature today is the gnomes, the friendly gnomes to be exact. Now I want to make mention that the friendly gnomes is in our new January to April mini catalog. We're on page 40 for the gnomes, and they have some really sweet little samples over here. These are the friendly gnomes. There are no, it says it here on the bottom, it says coordinates with the gnomes dies. The gnomes dies are not listed anywhere because the gnomes dies were in the catalog that ended in December, basically. They had gnome dies. They're $31, item number 159625. So in the December catalog, the fall winter catalog, they had Kindest Gnomes. So they had this as a bundle back in the day. Now this is already this stamp set is retired, so you can't get this stamp set anymore. But these dies coordinated with the stamp set. Now these dies coordinate with the Friendly Gnomes. So the Friendly Gnomes is the one that you can get now. And what is the most fantastic thing in the world? I just love when Stampin' Up! Does this because you get so much more value out of your product. So there are 3 gnome dies in this set. Actually, there's 4 gnome dies. There's 4 gnome dies in the set. There's one for the big mushroom that's in the retired set. And then there's other ones in here too. But these gnomes are completely different. 2 stamp sets with different gnomes. But these little dies will fit this guy right here, which we're going to be using him tonight. He's got a little beard. And over here on this side, it fits this guy. So the gnomes are the same. So these 2 gnomes, same die. And then these 2 gnomes, the one with the lantern and one with the heart. So you can see that they're shaped the same. These 2 are the same die. And then these 2 girls right here with the nice little braids, they are the same die as well. And then in the retired one, there is a sitting down gnome, and they didn't make a gnome to match him over here. So the retired one has 4 and the new one has 3, but they do work with the dies. We're going to be checking out the dies a little bit more tonight as we go. Put these back on my magnet sheet here so I don't lose anybody. Okay, and this is how I store my magnets. So on the back of this, I put the gnome dies. I write how many there are, because when I get done and I put these away, I'm going to count these. You bet I'm going to make sure I have 16 dies here. And I also, on the front of my little die insert, I put down which stamp sets that they go with. So now I've got 2. This is the first time I've ever put 2 stamp sets on my little die case. And then inside, we're going to talk about the inside here, I also put the dies that go with my stamps, because I do store them separately and everything's in alphabetical order so I can find them. So this new one, Friendly Gnomes, is photopolymer. The Kindest Gnomes, which is retired, is the red rubber cling. So I thought it was really interesting that they went from cling stamps to photopolymer. Now this is not part of the ones that you can get either or. Like, this is only available in photopolymer. So I thought that was really interesting. I don't know what the method is to the madness, but there you have it. Now don't forget, celebration is still happening. If you wanted to pick up the Friendly Gnomes and the dies, you would have order that's over $50. You're going to be picking out a celebration item, and I'm going to highly recommend this paper right here. And we're going to talk about this paper a little bit later on tonight as well. But this would be a freebie for you, or, you know, there's lots of other things in here that run in the $50 range. You're also getting, with my host code, you're getting a pack of these Fun Flowers resin shapes, the things I was waiting for. Look how cute these are. These are in Coral, Crushed Curry, Fresh Regis, Starry Sky, Parakeet Party. So these are really fun. We're going to be using these on the cards tonight. So you'll be getting those for free. And then you're also getting the card kits. And I give you 2 of each design. So you're getting 6 card kits for me when you have a qualifying order. So there's all kinds of ways that you can get all kinds of good, like a lot of good stuff. I wanted to like run through that really quick. And then we're going to get busy here working on our project. Now, one more thing. I apologize. I'm like, one more thing. Paper. Check out the paper patterns we're using here for our Friendly Gnomes cards tonight. I found some really bright, fun, florally paper that I just really thought screamed gnome to me, like gnomey paper. This first one right here is from the Butterfly Kisses. This is in the annual catalog. It's a 6x6. This one, I've been using this one quite a bit. This is Flowers and More. And this has some really bright, again, flowery, kind of that funky vibe, which I feel like goes really well with gnomes. And then the last one that I've used today, Dandy Designs. This is a celebration. If you have a $100 order, you can get this paper for free. Again, it's got some really cool designs in it that I thought would be perfect for gnome cards. So those are the papers. I wanted to show you those real quick. And we're going to hop into our very first card. And it's this one right here. So let's take a little look at it again here. So this one is some darker colors. Of course, I colored my little gnome here. And I've got this little float. I think this is called the floating eclipse technique. So we're going to talk about that first. Let me grab out my supplies here real quick. And we are going to get going on that. everything is ready here. So again, when you get your card kits in the mail, your qualifying order gets you the card kit. You will have two of this setup right here. So this is everything that you're going to be getting. So I'm just going to run through this with you. So you're getting 2 envelopes because you're getting 2 card bases. This is the Blackberry Bliss. You're getting a couple of sheets of the crushed curry here. Got all kinds of stuff. You've got an embossed piece. This is with the painted embossing folder. So these will be embossed. I don't know how well that's showing up, but it is embossed with this embossing folder. You are getting these ready to go Eclipse Technique things. So on the back of this is vellum, and on this side you have this really cool pattern of paper. So you're getting 2 of these ready to go. This would be where you're going to stamp your little gnome on, or if you're not doing gnomes, you're going to stamp whatever on there, and you're getting these little die cuts as well, and some extra papers for grasses and mushrooms, assuming that you have or are getting the gnome stamp and die set. So that's basically what your card kit would look like for this particular card. Now I kind of started a little bit here so that I can go through the quickest assembly possible, and stick tight with me because I'm also going to show you an alternate card that doesn't have anything to do with gnomes. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about this really cool Eclipse technique. And these are my card parts and pieces for the one that I'm going to assemble with you here tonight. So I've already die cut the little purple mushroom, which also kind of looks like a gumdrop to me. But you know, I like candy, so that's where my mind goes. I have my little gnome. He's already stamped and die cut. We're going to color him so you can see how he gets colored in. But I wanted to talk to you about this really cool Eclipse technique. So you're going to start with a piece of vellum. And because we're using the layering circles dies, we're going to be using the largest one. So you need to have your vellum be larger than whatever die you're going to be using for your die cutting. So I've got a 3.5 inch piece of vellum here. Let me grab out my tear and tape. Nope, this is not tear and tape. This is regular tape, and I don't use regular tape very often. These are 3.25 inch by 1/2 inch strips of paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and start putting some tape on here. Let me make sure I'm up in the camera angle here. And I'm just going to go ahead and layer these on here just like this. So you can use green glue. Now I used the green glue earlier, but I felt like it kind of made my vellum a little bit more wrinkled, I guess I want to say. The tape might be a better technique for this part. Your stronger tapes obviously are going to hold better. So basically I'm just going down through, and I'm leaving a space in between, right? So you can see the little spaces. I did cut 5 of these, so 5 of these would fit on here. I'm not going to continue. I'm going to, by the power of magic and all that good stuff, here is my design. 5 of them on here, so if I flip them over, you can see the vellum, you can see the tape. You can see the difference in the color there. And now we're going to just die cut this, and it's going to be so fabulous. So what makes this card so awesome and look so cool is that the vellum holds everything together for us. Move all my stuff out of the way, and we're going to just die cut this real quick, and then we're going to color in our gnome and do some assembly on our first card. So tell me what you think of these colors for this card. I mean, these are kind of Blackberry Bliss. We've got some nice, really retro looking daisy type flowers here. I thought the gnomes would enjoy some of these really bright and fun colors. And here we go. Move this out of the way. And when we're all done, we have this amazing circle, right? So all of these little, they almost look like it's see-through, right? So it's like almost magical that all of these things are just held together here by the vellum. This is my left behind scrap, so there's always that too. But I think that's the really coolest thing ever, and I hope you guys are thinking that's a really cool technique to do. All right, so when you get your kit, you're going to have all of this stuff already here. This is going to be your piece of paper to stamp your gnome. Now you can interchange your gnomes too. You don't have to use the same gnome. We're going to go ahead and do Memento ink because this is going to be really great. I don't think I got a good coverage on there. I did not. So you can see here that this did not work out well. We're going to flip it over and do it again. Let me make sure I have ink all over my stamp. So we're using the Memento ink, and we are going to color him in with the blender pens. Now that's a much better image right there. So there we go. And then once he's die cut with our matching die, this is what he looks like, just like that. So I am not die cutting for you anything that has to do with the gnome bundle, right, for this card. So you would be doing that on your own. But let's do a little bit of coloring. Let's talk about colors. So these are all of the colors right here that I'm going to use on all 3 cards tonight. And I have Pool Party. They come light and dark, so I have both of them out. Pool Party, Fresh Freesia, I have Calypso Coral, I have Daffodil Delight, I have Old Olive. So I have 5 core colors with the light and darks, and then I have a skin tone and 2 beard colors. Now the skin tones and the browns, even the grays, they all come in lots of different colors, so you could choose different ones that you want to. I just picked skin tone for all of my cards, and then just a couple of beard colors. And I have a nice little chart here, and I'll try to take a picture of this and put this on the video link. So this tells you all of the colors that I'm using for all of my gnomes tonight, and that way you'll have that. And I will also be putting this in a blog post too, because sometimes it's hard to pick colors. Sometimes it's hard to figure out, like, okay, what color do I do? I mean, like, I don't know if you ever do that, but I do that. I look at something and I'm like, oh my gosh, what colors? So basically I chose colors that are going to coordinate with my cardstock. You want it to look nice together, and we're going to start coloring right now. So we're going to do his hat first. I'm going to start with the dark, and I always use the smaller tip here, not the big brush tip. And we're just going to go ahead and start coloring him in. And it's not going to have to be, you know, you don't have to go super fast. I'm going to try to go super fast so you guys aren't like, wow, that's pretty boring. But we're going to color him on down through. And I'm starting with the dark, and then I'm going to add in a little bit of light. So basically I've gone kind of around the outside of his hat, and I left a whole bunch here in the middle. And as I go, I'm just going to leave even more in the middle. Actually, I'm going to leave that much in the middle. So here's what I have left over. I'm going to fill this in with the light color. And I'm going to fill this in with the light color. And I'm going to squiggle the light color into the darker color. And I'm just keep going into the dark color a little bit. Up and around and in. And this way you have just a little bit of 2 tones in there. So that's how this guy is. Now you can see that his hat is really quite different from the first hat. Down here I left these little spots kind of to the end for the lighter colors. So it is definitely something that you can play with and continue to work with just like that. We're going to move on to the skin tone though, and you don't want to color his eyeball, right? The whites of his eyes should stay white. So we are going to do his nose. He has a nice big round nose. He's a gnome, right? And we're going to kind of come down to where we think his beard is going to take over. And then I also chose to do the hands on my gnomes in the skin color. You could absolutely make those look like mittens, because I feel like they could be mittens. I'm going to do his sleeves in the dark daffodil. So he's just got a little edge of sleeve here on 2 sides. And then we're going to bring in the dark Old Olive. So I'm using darker colors on this gnome because he's on a very bold, dark color card. And I felt like the bold colors would work better here. So I'm just going to color in here his the sides of his pants. And I'm going to go down, and I'm actually going to flip him upside down, I think. I'm going to do his shoes. Now you can do, of course, do the shoes a different color if you want. I looked at the catalog. That's pretty much all I looked at. And I'm like, okay, so sometimes they make the shoes the same color as the pants. Sometimes they change it up a little bit. Now, you also want to make sure that you're coloring on something. I've got my paper here behind me, because when I flip this guy over, you're going to see all the colors bleed through. This is a really strong color. And as for his beard, I did take the darker of the brown. So this is actually the SU200. They come in a whole, I think there's like 10 different colors here now that the browns can come in. So I took the darkest brown, and we're just going to color in his beard here pretty quickly. Of course, you don't want to color the flowers in yet, so don't do the flowers in brown. That would be sad. And when you come up to his face here, he doesn't really have a line where his beard starts. So you just kind of have to make it your own. You have to kind of work his beard line out a little bit. I'm gonna go up around the flowers. I also want you guys to know that I'm doing this from farther away so that my head is not in the camera over top of me. So I'm like doing my best to see where I'm coloring. Now, like when I actually color, I do like to take off my glasses and kind of just get right up close and personal. But here's his beard. I think I didn't do too badly on the flowers, but that's okay. This is just kind of a sample card. Now this also light yellow here for the flowered petals. I kind of did mess up the flowers a little bit, but that's okay. And then we're going to go in with the dark yellow, and we're going to do the centers of the little daisies. And there he is, all done. Look at that, magical pretty, right? He matches too. He matches quite nicely. So once you've got your little guy done here, you're basically on to assembly. So we're going to go ahead and put this one together real quick. So we're going to layer together our embossed piece with the painted textures. And this is in just white, and it's going to go on this nice crushed curry mat. And then this is going to go right down here onto our card base. And I did score these earlier. Just want to make sure that it's opening in the right direction and all the good things. There we go. So for the eclipse part of this, I am going to use some dimensionals on the back because I do want this to kind of pop up a little bit. Let me grab out some dimensionals here. And we're popping into a new sheet. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm just catching dimensionals on the back here where I have the paper. Actually, I might move this one. Let's see if it will move. Will it move for me? It will. It's on vellum, so it's a little bit more forgiving. I'm actually just going to do the four of them here. The top and the bottom ones I could use partial dimensionals on, but I'm not gonna do that right now. So this is just gonna come up here. Are we in? Okay, yep, we're in camera angle here view. So I'm gonna bring this up here and kind of come this way. So now it looks like all these little strips of designer paper are kind of floating on here. And we're gonna bring in our fun purple paper here, and I'm gonna put this over here. So I only need dimensionals on one section and glue on one section. And so the glue is going to layer down right over top of my first circle, and the dimensionals are going to hit kind of off here onto the side. So we're good there. So we've got these nice little circle patterns going on. We did not stamp our sentiment yet, so let's bring in, this is our piece for the sentiment, and we're going to use the sentiment that says there's no one better than you. I'm using Blackberry Bliss because obviously it matches our theme here for our card. I'm going to stamp this just to the left side or so. And I stamped that really high. I'm going to stamp that again and do better. I'm going to do gnome better. Okay, we're going to do this again. Boy, it's a good thing I got two-sided paper here today. All right, there's gnome one better than you. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So this is going to come on here. Let me close up my ink before I do something crazy with it. Move those aside, and once again I'm going to put a dimensional just right here, and actually this time I'm going to put it on my card rather than on the sentiment. So I'm going to take that off of there, add some glue to this side. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just glued the side that I wanted to use. Well, here we go. We're keeping going here. We're into the method here. I guess it's okay that it's at the top here. Like, I'm okay with that. It's not the worst. All right, we're going to add in our little die cuts here. Now these are in with the gnome dies. There's this little grass and this little mushroom. And I give you paper for these. So you've got these cute little papers right here. And whether or not you're using the gnomes, you can definitely at least get some color inspiration from these colors. And I'm going to glue these down just kind of like right on top of here, like it's a little ledge. And my little gnome guy is going to come in, and he's going to hang out right here. Look how cute he's going to be. I'm just going to glue him down flat. We're going to glue him down. He is so cute. There we have it, just like that. And of course we need some beautiful embellishments. So let's see what I can find here from my pile as I kind of push him down a little bit because he needs a little help here for a minute. Let's see. Got my pick tool. All right, on my first sample, I did use the purpley ones, but I think I'm going to do yellow this time. I'm going to change it up. So I'm going to put some yellow ones on here instead. Crushed curry. Let's see if we like the yellow ones better today. We'll get a couple of these on here. We'll put, actually I'm going to put one down there. Since my sentiment's a little wonky, I think I'm just going to put one up there. We're going to do 3. Oh, I like the yellow. Okay. Yellow, purple. There we have it. Just like that. Really cute, right? I can see that my eclipse looks a little bit different on both. I'm always critical, right? We are our own worst judges. I'm very critical of what I do here. But these are the 2 cards. They did turn out quite sweetly. And maybe gnomes is not your thing. So maybe you're looking for something a little bit different. You're like, oh man, what else could I do with those card kits? Just like the ice cream. I feel like the ice cream card kits kind of like threw everybody for a loop. I grabbed out Covered in Sunshine, which Maine is not certainly covered in sunshine right now. We had like, I don't know, we probably got 18 inches of snow today. And I made this card instead. And this card is using the same elements and a little bit more. So just take for granted that you can't always make the same exact card with your card kit when I show you the swap outs. So this piece right here, which is the sentiment piece, I did stamp that on Blackberry Bliss. This actually came from the same paper that we stamped our gnome on. So you do have the paper to stamp something different. What you don't have is the daisy and these pieces right here, which I use the bow punch for. So I added those on, so you would have to have your own cardstock separate and some different punches, but I'm just showing you an alternate idea. If you're not into the gnomes and you got this card kit, what could you do with it? You can still use your eclipse circle, you can still use your die cut, you can definitely change it up. But this is a really great example of something that you could do that's a little bit different. So I wanted to share that with you. And again, you're getting the color inspiration here. So I used Old Olive and I used Blackberry Bliss. So that kind of gives you the idea. But if you do get the card kits and you want to make gnomes, you can make 2 cards that look exactly like that. So that is card number 1. And we are going to move on now to our next card. All right, let me move these guys out of the way. We'll bring them back in at the end. And let me check real quickly here. Messages. Rhonda wants to know what DSP I'm using for the vellum. Okay, hi Andrea, it's okay that you're late. The mini flowers work on his beard. Jess, I had thought of that actually. That was kind of my plan when I was looking at these little embellishments. I believe that they probably would. Probably the smaller ones. Let's see if we can kind of like, let's see if we can work some magic here. I love that you can lift these up. The smaller ones would actually they both would. Maybe the bigger ones would be cute. Yeah, they would totally work on his beard. And I had thought of that when I first wanted to put these flower resins with the gnomes because I thought they worked really well together. Rhonda, I used for the gnome card, for the first gnome card, this is the Flowers and More Host Designer Series paper. So this is the paper pattern right here. And on the back of it, it is pink. These have some really great fun, I mean, I've been using these quite a bit. So this is a host item that you can get with a qualifying party. And that is in the mini catalog. So check that out back in the mini. So, okay, that takes care of our first card. I think I answered some questions. Okay, good. Now we're going to move on to our second card. So our second card is this guy right here, and he's really cute. Now I made this one a little bit of a play on Valentine's Day, but not entirely Valentine's Day, just in case, you know, this could be an anniversary card for your honey. This could be for your kids. Really cute. And you could obviously change up the sentiment. It doesn't even have to say love you, but I like these colors together. This is what your card kit will look like. So you're going to get a little bit of this beautiful ribbon. You're going to get all this stuff. You're going to get 2 card bases. Again, you're going to get 2 pieces of Calypso Coral that have the brick embossing folder. You're getting some die cuts here. Check out the tiny little hearts in this paper. There's like little hearts in this paper. I thought that was so cute. Now this is from the Butterfly DSP. I can't remember, what was it called? Butterfly, what is it called? Butterfly Kisses. So it's got this cute little heart designer series paper, and then of course I use a bunch of the flowery paper. Very gnomey like, right? But on the back, check out the yellow. Ooh, I love when I flip it over and look at the back. And of course you're getting a couple of little heart and fresh freesia, some punched out pieces. These are all the pieces and parts that you're getting with your card kit to create 2 cards for this card right here. And we're going to get onto that, and I have a partial card kit ready to go here. Oh, look, I put the girl. Why did I put the girl in here? I have the girl here for my last card. Let's move her over. Okay, good. I wanted to show you where those little hearts came from. If you got my monthly card kit, or if you saw my very first weekly card class, I use Country Bouquet. And I love this little punch. So I did a little tip at one point that said, just take the smallest piece of paper if you only want the smallest hearts, and then you can very easily just put this in and punch away, and then you've got some scraps and you've got some more hearts. And how cute are those? These are like perfect for all kinds of stuff. So that comes from the Country Bouquet punch. And we are going to look, I got this guy ready to go. We're so excited to color him in. All right, so let's move apart some things here. We're going to talk about the embossing folder. This is the Brick 3D embossing folder. So the embossing folders have this really nice line on them for the most part. So you can line up your paper, your cardstock, straight, especially if you don't want a crooked stack of bricks, right? So it's going to go in here just like this, and you can line it up nicely. And then I'm going to actually send this through my machine. So the Brick embossing folder is a 3D folder, and I'm just grabbing out my plates. We want the base plate number 1. Now we're going to put the embossing folder in with the hinge or closed side in first, and then because it's 3D, we're going to use plate number 4, and that is the perfect sandwich for this embossing folder. Of course, yours are all coming embossed in your card kits, but if you're just making these at home, maybe you're recreating some of these samples, you can look through what you got. And now we have some bricks here, just like that. Now we are going to darken our bricks down a little bit with some light colored ink. This is Calypso Coral, and check out these adorable little blending brushes. And when I say adorable, I'm talking like super cute. These are brand new. So here are 2 size references. They had the bigger ones. They've had these ones for a while, and they have the littler ones. And I had a chance to use the littler ones at, I actually went to a stamp camp this weekend. I actually got to be the student instead of the teacher. And it was so nice to be handed a pile of kits and say, here, make some cards. You don't have to think about it. And oh my gosh, it was so refreshing, so much fun. And I hope that you guys, when you get my card kits in the mail, you're thinking the same thing. Like, wow, I don't have to think. I can just assemble some cards. I already have directions. Everything's already cut for me. I'm just doing a little stamping, a little gluing or taping, and I have some really awesome projects, and my creativity bucket has been filled. So here we go. I just deepened that down here real quick while I was chatting with you, but these little brushes have so much more precision and control. They're not as bendy. Like this one is bendy. It might be hard to see here, but it's kind of more bendy and wobbly. Like when you use it, this part right here always feels like it's really squishy, but this part, I don't think it's thicker. I just think that because this is smaller, it's got more control. And you don't really need that. I mean, we're not using a ton of ink when we blend, so I don't know why you would need such a huge surface. But anyway, the new ones are adorable, and I love them very much. All right, so let's see what else we got in our kit here. We have a white piece that's going to go on our card base. Let's go ahead and start assembling here. So we get some of these pieces put on here. So we have a nice white layer in the front. Now this actually differentiates the card base from the bricks. So see how much brighter that looks just by adding that white on there? If we had, let's pretend we just did this on this. Like it's just, it needs that little bit of white. This has a lot of dark color, and I don't think of Calypso Coral color as being dark, but when it's used just repeatedly, I feel like it is kind of a dark color. So this white just kind of brightens it up, makes the bricks look a little bit nicer. We have this super cute, as I talked about before, designer series paper, and this is just going to sit here on the bottom. Now I could have totally cut this smaller and sent you a smaller brick piece, but sometimes I like to just layer and not have to think about, okay, now this has to butt up against this. And it's so much easier to just have a nice piece of paper to work off of. So I just put on 2 more layers, the designer's paper and this nice little strip of Calypso Coral. I'm going to take my white square, and I'm going to put some adhesive on my die cut. So this has that little bit of stitched edging around the edges, and we're just going to layer this. So again, it's a nice little mat. I love the layer looks. If your card is missing something, I can tell you right now, it's probably missing layers. I'm having a lot of people say to me, what else should I add to my card? What should I do to my card? And I'm thinking about adding a feature to Positive Paper Crafters called Fix My Card. I'm thinking about doing that on Fridays. So if you guys are, if you're interested in this, and I won't post a picture of your card. I won't be like, Tammy sent me this card, it's terrible, and she wants me to fix it. And this is what I would do. I wouldn't do that. I would probably recreate something similar to what you show me for a card. Let's say you have a design. You're like, I don't know what should I add? What should I do? And I would actually show my design similar to yours, and then show a new design, and then everyone could learn, and everyone would have ideas about like how you could fix your card. Because a lot of times I get those pictures, and my friends text me and send me pictures, and they're like, what should I do? What should I do? All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this down on here with dimensionals and make sure your hearts are facing the right direction. Look how cute this is already, right? Oh, I love it. All right, let's talk about our little gnome guy. So you're getting some white paper, right? So we're doing the same thing. We have Memento ink somewhere, right? We're just stamping. Now, again, if you're not going to do the little gnomes, that's okay. You don't have to. But I'm just showing you where your little gnomes will go if you get these card kits. And he's going to go on there. And then by the power of the die cutting, we have this guy right here, and we're going to color him in next. So let's make him pretty. So you can see here that he has a yellow hat. So again, I have the Daffodil Delight, and we're going to start with the dark again, and we're just going to color on down through. I do all of the outside edges first. I love the Stampin' Blends. They're like the best thing. The color really they really color nicely. All right, so I think I'm going to leave, again, I'm leaving a whole bunch in the middle that is blank right now. We're going to bring in the lighter color, and I'm just circly scribbles, and I'm going to keep circly scribbling until it looks natural. Because the first time you go through, you can see light and dark. You can tell the difference between light and dark. But after you blend it a little bit, it actually kind of melds together. And then you can see a little bit of color difference, but it's not crazy like, wow, that's where that line ended and that's where that one started. Now again, I'm using SU 800. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but for my gnomes, noses, faces, and hands, I've got the 800, and I will again post a picture later on of all the colors that I used. His heart is purple because we need more purple on this card. I think everyone needs purple, right? Guess lots of you guys out there love the purples. And I love this color. This is going to be really sad when this retires, this Fresh Freesia, which is slated to happen like too soon. So I'm using this a lot right now. Like Fresh Freesia is my go-to. I have it in a lot of different things. We're just coming in here again with in the middle of the heart with a little bit of the light Fresh Freesia. Let's do his sleeves. I've got the light Old Olive. We're going to do his sleeves real quick here. So these gnomes are, they're actually kind of fun to color, and I say that from a person that doesn't really like coloring that much. Like, coloring is not my favorite. I know some of you guys are like, oh, coloring is so relaxing, it's so nice. I like to stamp and go. I'm like, just hurry and go. But these gnomes are cute, and they're growing on me. So I'm not like, gnomes weren't my first choice of when I saw the catalog. I know there's people that see the gnomes and like, oh my gosh, gnomes. Because if you're into gnomes, you just love them. And I was like, they're cute. Let me try them out. We're going to do his beard in 400. So this is a little bit lighter of a brown. And this kind of goes with more with our coral color here, our Calypso Coral. This tone right here has a little bit more orangey reddy color in it, if you will. Like the first gnome we did, he had a really dark brown beard, and that went really good with our dark Blackberry Bliss as a contrasting color. This card has, of course, so I'm going to try to sneak across here and get into the nooks and crannies. This card has more of those reds and orange colors. So his beard, I chose a color that has more of those colors in it too. There, I think he's good. And just like that, we have another gnome colored in. He's so cute, so cute. All right, we need to stamp a sentiment. Let me bring my ink back in. And did I lose a sentiment piece somewhere? Did I not put one in my kit? Maybe it's in my envelope. Maybe I need one. Let's grab my scrap bin here. Scraps. I keep all of my scraps when I cut cards, and that's about the right, that's about right. We're going to just come in here and pretend that I have an actual piece. Your card kits will have these things in there, which is really nice. I'm just going to trim one down. It doesn't matter if this is crooked because the back end of this is going to be tucked under my gnome, and my sentiment says, love you. It's a really cute sentiment, right? So this set of gnomes, the friendly gnomes that we're using right now, is more springy, more Valentine's-y, more springy. There's flowers, there's squirrels. I mean, like, look at so cute, right? Spring. It says spring here, right here. Squirrel, flower, flowers, grasses. There's a little balloon. Smaller mushroom. We're going to talk about that one later. Anyway, I don't know if we talked about the stamp set very much other than it was photopolymer. All right, I'm going to just angle my sentiment. I'm a little bit sideways here. I'm going to go this way. I wanted the angle there, and there we go. Okay, so angling the sentiment, love you. He's going to go on there just like that. And then we're going to add in our little hearts and such. And he's almost done. So yes, very springy. Obviously, you could do this as a Valentine's Day card or not. He doesn't have to be. Again, this colored nicely all the way through to the other side. He's going to sit on here. And I have room for a couple of these purple hearts. Now I'm going to try to angle them so that they are a little bit off shape. They're not like perfect hearts, which is kind of nice. So like one side has a larger edge. So I'm going to kind of off angle them so that larger edge are facing in opposite directions, if that makes sense. So the fatter part of the heart is on opposite sides there. All right. Oh, look, I made a bow. I made a bow early, so you guys don't have to watch me struggle in bow making. Isn't that awesome? I was trying to be so prepared for this class tonight. Kind of helped that I had a snow day, so I could stay home and do lots of craft. I've been in my craft room all day. It's been snowing all day here in Maine. I have been in my craft room all day. Like, I break for food and snacks and stuff. I wrote a blog post, I sent an email, you know, stuff like that. But the reality is, kept coming back to my craft room, and it was like perfect weather. Can't beat it. All right, so a little bit of tear and tape on the back of my little white crinkle bow here. It's going to come down on here, like kind of tucked into this corner here. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add on some bling. So I used these cute little flower resin shapes in the Calypso here. Let's try the purple. Let's see if purple, how does purple look? We're going to try it out. You know, I like to change things up a little bit. So let's see. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to really change it up because I saved room here for an element. And here I chopped him really short. So it's not going to work the same. I'm going to put one right there. I'm just going to put one there. Maybe a big one. We're going to have to put one down there. I kind of don't like to put them on the designer paper because I feel like they kind of hide. You can't really see them. All right, I'm going to put one there. All right, I'm going to do that. So we've got one here. It does kind of fade in a little bit, but I like how these two are up here, and I like that they're purple. So totally different embellishments. But there we go. Here is our little love you card. I almost like this one better, but it's hard to say. All right, so that is card number 2. And again, just like the first card I did, let me clean up here a little bit while I chit chat with you. Does anyone else get like annoyed by all these little staticky dimensional papers that go everywhere? All right, so, oh gosh, yes, I forgot what I did for my swap card, my substitute card. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited to share this with you. Okay, check this out. This is really awesome. This is the Fragrant Flowers stamp set, and I didn't really think too much of it until I realized, okay, they have dies, right? Of course they have dies, but they have these dies. I'm going to talk to you about the dies. And the dies cut out celebration paper, and I didn't realize this. Check this out. So this is celebration paper. This is free with $50 order. These dies will cut out the images in this paper. You get 6 of these big ones, so it will cut out either the purple or the Calypso Coral. And then there's a small die here that cuts out the smaller flowers. So it cuts out these flowers and it cuts out these flowers. And you get I think 8 of the smaller flowers from one sheet of 12 by 12. So that's so cool, right? That is so cool. So I used that to make this card. This is my swap card for my gnome card. Now check this out. Now do you remember when I put this paper down and I said, hey, look at the back, look how pretty yellow it is? I used the yellow paper. So I just flipped this over and used the yellow. Everything else on here is exactly the same. I've got the little love you. The only thing that's different is that I had free celebration paper. So if you've got a $50 order, you're getting the card kits, you're getting the embellishments, you're getting free paper. You could get this. And if you don't have the dies, you could cut this out if you wanted to. Or you can add other flowers or other designs in here. This is just an idea on how to create a swap for this card. But if you do want to create a couple of gnome cards, your card kits will allow you to make 2, or maybe you want to make 1 of each. That's even better, right? So that is card number 2, and I wanted to share that with you. That's the Fragrant Flowers stamp set. This right here, this stamp is the same thing as this paper. How awesome is this? Like, let me put it in the right direction. This right here is this right here. So when your paper runs out, if you have the stamp set with the dies, you can continue to make these. You're just doing some coloring, which I am really excited to try my hand at. I haven't played with this stamp set yet. It is red rubber. I have obviously played with the dies because I've been cutting out pretty flowers. Really enjoying that. So I was so excited when I found that out. I didn't realize that for the longest time, that you could do that with that designer paper and that particular set of dies. Oh my gosh, such a game changer. Okay, so we're bringing in card number 3. And I always save the best for last. I hope you guys think so too. This is the cutest card. I love, okay, this is a little bit more pastel-y in color, right? But it has some pull-out elements here. We're actually using the mini envelope. What is this called, Julie? Mini envelope. Let's look at it. Mini pocket envelope dies. Oh my goodness, I can't even say it. But check it out. So I pulled out these cute little features, right? You can tuck them back in. Now this could be a gift card here too, and then you could choose to maybe use something else on the front. You could put these on the inside. I like cards that kids can play with. This is a really fun card. So these come out, they go back in. It's just really cute. So let's get our card, let's take a look at our card kit. So you're getting, again, just this is everything that would be in your card kit. All comes to you. So you get 2 envelopes. You get some fresh freesia ribbon. You get hearts. All kind. Oh, I was punch happy on this one. So you're getting these are the big heart punches. These come as a set of 2, right? So you're getting the scallops in the pool party, and then I went ahead and did the designer paper. So this is 2-sided, right? So you've got the gingham, and then you've got kind of like this check one right here, right? So you're getting those. You're getting all of these circle punches, multiple colors. These are for stamping. You've got some designer series paper. You've got an embossed piece in fresh freesia, and then you have this fantastic mini pocket gift card holder. So this all comes to you just like this. This is what your card kit looks like, and from there you take off and do your thing. So let's take a look a little bit more at the one that I'm going to work with tonight, because I already have my card base folded. I made a ribbon ahead of time because I'm just like, I'm good like that right now. All right. Oh, we're doing a mushroom. I forgot about the mushroom. Isn't that the cutest little mushroom on there? Oh my gosh. Now remember this, this die that was with the older one does not have a die for the little mushroom, but it is so easy to cut that out. I mean, like super simple to cut this guy out, which is what we're going to do with this one. I wanted to talk to you really briefly about this die that does the mini pocket envelope. Here she be. All right, let me get this off of here, my magnet sheet. Okay, it's very important to put the die down on the cardstock with the pattern facing up that you want to be the front of your envelope. Okay, so if you put this down the wrong way, which I did for quite a few of them and then I realized, like, oh my gosh, this is for a green gift card. Now there are some little score lines here, so you can kind of, maybe you can't see them, but there's a score line right here. There's a score line right here on the bottom, and they're very lightly scored too. Let me see if I can put that down and work that out a little bit. So this would fold together and glue together. We're going to work on that. But this is actually green stripies up. I didn't want green stripies up. I wanted polka dot stripies up. So I had to recut some paper. So I learned myself today that you do want to pay attention, and when you put this die down to run it through your die cutting machine, keep the pattern up that you would like to be the focus part of your card. We're going to put the green one away because we're actually going to be working with, I wanted polka dots. Those polka dots are the cutest, right? All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to work with my gift card right now, seeing as how we're talking about it. So there's a couple of ways that you can actually do this. You can actually fold this over like this and glue it this way, and it does leave a seam. Like, you're going to see a seam here. And since this is going to be glued onto our card front and we're not really paying attention, you can also just flip it over if you don't care what the back looks like, and you can glue it down this way, which is what we're going to do. But before we do that, because I don't want my little guys here to fall all the way through, I'm not using this as a gift card holder. I'm just using it to hold these cute little things here. Now, if I don't want them to fall all the way down to the bottom, you definitely want to add a little bit of adhesive. You don't want to go crazy, right? You still need to have room to tuck these in. So you can see where my glue ends and where my little girl's going to go in here. And then I'm also going to, we talked about putting it this way, didn't we? So I'm just going to go ahead and glue these down here. Glue my little flaps a little bit here. And up and over on both sides. And this is going to be on the back of my card. So it just looks a little bit nicer in that regard. All right, so let's talk about what we got for the card. We've got this awesome embossing folder piece here. This is, I don't think I have the cover for it. And it's Time Worn Type, I think is what it's called. It's one of my favorites. It kind of looks like it leaves some splatters. It also has words on it. So what I wanted to point out is, because there are words that you can look at it, you can pick out a couple of words. Like harvest is on here, road might be on here. You definitely want to use the right side up. I'm trying to see if I can see, there's harvest right there. Because otherwise it would look silly. Like some of them embossing folders you can use in different directions, right? You can use emboss, deboss, you can put it front ways, sideways, whatever. You want this one to, there are words here, so you kind of want to pay attention to that. But this is just the bones of our card here. We've got the nice pool party, fresh freesia, and this awesome green, which I think we've got some old olive and some pear pizzazz here. So we're just going to glue this right back down here, because this is just going to be on the front of our card. Now, if you're making these cards and you decide you want to use this on the inside of your card rather than on the outside, you could certainly do that. You could use this for a completely different project. You don't even have to put this envelope thingy on the front of your card here. But I just really like it, so we're going to go with it. A whole bunch of circles here. We're going to actually stamp the, let's see, I'm looking for my memento. We're going to stamp the sentiment here. Wishing you the most magical of birthdays. This is kind of this would obviously be a birthday card. It doesn't have to be a birthday card. You could use other sentiments. This happens to fit nicely though, and this is a 2-inch circle. So we've got that going on there. Now these ones are meant to stamp the little gnome on this piece, just like there, and then the mushroom on this piece. So if you've got those at home, I'm going to skip that stamping part and try to speed along here so that we're not all night doing this. But my little gnome and mushroom, they are die cut. These circle pieces are just going to layer together. So we've got pool party, fresh freesia, and our sentiment. A little bit of adhesive, and we are good to go with all of that. And then this is going to go on our card front right about here. So we'll go ahead and put that down. Oh, I might have put a dimensional there. Probably I did. Probably I need to find them again. Shuffling paper. I put stuff down and then I bury it. It gets buried. Like I set other things on top of it, and by the time I'm done, I can't find anything. But there we go. So that's going to go. So I have a dimensional there, just because there's some height difference there with the gift envelope, and a little bit of glue there. All right, so you can see where we're going. Oh, let's do our heart real quick, because it's also super easy. Adhesive. And I like the little gingham side. I think is a little bit brighter in colors. So we're going to get that ready. He's just going to hang out right there for now. Look how cute. Of course, okay, we could put our bow down too. And then we just got to color and put on our little gnome and our little mushroomy. All right. I created this cute little bow earlier. I'm looking to see which side do I want up and down. Front, back, front, back. I think this way. Okay. So there we have it. Get that peeled off. Now you could use glue dots, of course, too. I do like the tear and tape. We're just going to put that right up here just to kind of top off our little circle sentiment here. So cute. All we have left to do is color our little friends here. And we have two things to color. Oh, I did want to say that I just used my scissors to fussy cut this out. It was a really easy stamp to fussy cut because you're basically you're not doing the flowers. You're just coming up straight up the stem, around the top of the mushroom, and then straight down. So as you can see here, and then you kind of close the bottom there. It was really easy to cut. So this is not a hard fussy cut. I do want to talk to you, please remind me, I've got to talk to you about the extra little die cuts here and why I have them for this particular set. All right, so let's grab out our pool party and get coloring here. So we're gonna start with the dark. We're gonna do her hat first. The hat is like the biggest thing, so I guess that's where I like to start. I'm not starting at the top because it's the top. I'm starting at the top because the hat is big. And I feel accomplished. Once I get that hat done, I'm like, whoa, she's like ready to go. I don't have a lot of coloring left. It's like, you know, start your day and get the hard stuff done first. All right, so I went all the way around the outside. I'm gonna do around her flower hat here and try to do that a little bit better. All right, I think I did better. All right, so again, I left a big white spot here. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm gonna go ahead and scribble in the light and scribble in some more. Kind of soften the edges where the light and the dark meet. And there we go. I am liking it. All right, let's do her flower on her hat. We've got fresh freesia for the flower petals. And I think I went with a light yellow daffodil for the center. Beautiful. All right, we're going to bring in our skin tone, SU 800, just like we've been doing. All right, so we get her nose. Do not color in the white of her eye. We're going to leave that white. And we're going to do her hands. So cute. All right, oh, and on this one, I did do, like down here at the bottom of her shoe, she's got like these little, like, they're like little Mary Janes, right? They're really cute. So we did a little bit of skin tone there. She's not wearing socks. You could probably make those socks if you wanted to. All right, we're gonna do her hair in this really nice dark Daffodil Delight. So we're just gonna go down her little braids here. And the ends are kind of interesting. They're kind of like, they come down like these little, like stocky type things, but there you have it. We're gonna do the same thing on this side, get her braid all colored in. Okay, I think we're good there. Ooh, pool party, let's do her feet real quick. I'm going to do the light for her shoes. I'm going to add a little bit of dark like at the bottom and then on the little buckle part here. Okay, so there's that and that. We're going to bring the dark back in. So just a little bit here on the bottom. They do have some lines there and then a little bit on the buckle too. There we go. And then we're just going to bring in the light and dark freesia to finish off. So I did her shirt, her sleeves in the lighter color. And I did this little center part here where the buttons on her blouse are lighter. And then I did the rest of it with dark fresh freesia. So I did her collar a little bit darker. It just gives her kind of a two-tone situation here. She's got some little ruffles that end in her sleeves and hit the top of her hands. And then I'm just going to color in the rest of her little jumper here. Try to not color her hair again because her hair is already colored. Go around the yellow. And there you have it. So again, I just picked colors that looked really good with my, oh my goodness, look at how cute, right? Look at how cute. Now let's look at the back. Not so cute. So I wanted to talk to you about extra cardstock. So you can actually do another die cut and you can cover up the back, and this actually makes it a little bit thicker for sliding in and out of the pocket. So when I did this, I did a little experiment. This is always fun too, right? So I took the die, if I could find the dies I would show you. Let's see if I can find the right die so it really looks real, right? This one right here. I took the die and I ran it through, so the normal way, right? The normal way is you put your paper down, you put your paper down, you put the die over the top of it, you run it through the machine, and it comes out and it looks like this. So this is the pretty side that we would normally have, that we'd be stamping and coloring on. And on the back side, it's fuzzy and frayed, and it probably won't show up here, but it's kind of fuzzy and frayed. And we have to put this on to our stamped and die colored one. We have to put it on where the fuzzy and frayed side is actually showing, which isn't the worst thing. It's the back, right? But I wanted to try, just for the heck of it, I wanted to try it. And this worked really well. I put the sandwich a little bit differently. I put my die with the blade part facing up. So normally we're going down this way. I did the opposite. And I put paper on top. And I ran it through this way. So opposite, right? Normally we're running it through this way. I ran it through this way instead with the clear plate over top. And the edges actually look a little bit nicer. There's no fraying. This is the front side, but this back side, it just gives it kind of a nicer edge. So that was a really interesting little experiment that I did. And I wanted to share that with you because I always like to show you like different little things that I try out just to see. Now, so the back side of this one, so I just glued her together. The back side of this one has a much nicer back than this side. This is my original one. No, maybe not. Which one's my original one? Now I'm confused. Yes, this one. Okay, I have to look at it really closely. This one has more frayed. But anyway, this will fit in here so cutely, just like that. This little, that's the cutest thing ever. So this is my little grand finale here. But again, oh my gosh, I didn't color the mushroom. We're going to color this really quick. I'm so sorry. I'm like taking up so much time. All right, mushroom. Let's do the mushroom really quickly. Purple, purple. We're bringing in purple. We're going to start with the light purple. And we're going to do the mushroom. Actually, I won't even color the whole thing. I'll just kind of show you. I did that light purple on the mushroom cap. I went through and did the darker color on these little spots. Okay. Then I grabbed the greens. I did the dark old olive underneath. So all of this stuff underneath here, all in through here, all dark. And then I went through with a light and I did the stem part. So pretend all of the stem is done. Beautiful. And then I took the pool party and I did the light pool party for the window and inside the door. And then I did the dark pool party and I did the windowsill and I did the edge of the door and I did the handle. And this isn't done, but this is done on this card right here. So this is what it will look like when it's all said and done. Super cute. Again, pulling the same colors, so they really go together really nicely because I started with a core color palette and so cute. So obviously you're going to be making 2 of these cards too if you get these card kits, but maybe the gnomes is not your thing. And I do have another card that I can share with you. And for this card, I pulled out the Flamed Florets dies. So I chose something a little bit different and went something a little bit more, I guess, more adult than the gnomes, right? The gnomes are like more kid-like. So for this one, again, I have the same punches here. I have for a special person on a special day. I did use some purple embellishments here. And then I have, instead of a gnome to pull out, I have just a little tag that says wishes for a beautiful birthday. And I stamped that. And of course, I did the punched heart and I used the opposite side of the paper here for that one. So you can kind of stick in some little things here. Of course, there could be a gift card, there could be money, you know, all those things here. But that's just kind of a nice way to do something a little bit different if you want to do something a little, change it up. So again, we've got the same, pretty much the same everything on here other than the gnomes and the little mushroom. So there is your alternate card for this particular card. So let's bring in everybody. Let's look one more time at all of the cards we did tonight because we covered quite a bit in this hour together. And I would love to know if you love the gnomes, if you have a favorite gnome card. So these are the card kits you're getting. So you're getting 2 of each with your order this week, and that ends on Friday. So the orders always end on Fridays, and then I start a new class. These are the alternate cards. 1, we could probably line these up a little bit better. 2 and 3. So there's our alternate cards on top of the gnome cards, and there we have it. Phew, that was a lot tonight. I know we're a little over an hour. There's some coloring to do and some techniques and things like that. So Andreas wants those embellishments next. They're really cute. They're really cute. Awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this class. Thanks for hanging out with me on another Monday night. I know we've been here long, so I won't keep you. If anyone has any questions on placing an order with me using the host code to get your celebration, to get your free embellishments, to get your card kits, all that good stuff, you can leave a comment or message me, and I will definitely get back to you and help you out with that. The Gnomes class continues. This is just the beginning. This is the beginning of the week. I have alternate cards. Besides the one I already showed you, I have bonus cards. Let's call them bonus cards. I have at least 2. I'm probably going to work on another one. So follow me along here on Main Stamper, my business page here on Facebook, or Positive Paper Crafters, because there's going to be more gnomes throughout the week. So if you are a fan of gnomes, you're definitely going to want to check them out. And if not, maybe you want to see other alternates as well. So that's it for me, everybody. Thank you so much again for joining me. I hope you have a really great week. And until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye.